Hello everyone, I am Griledchikenman and thank you for joining me today for another Case 4 video. Now today's case is a game that I have been really looking forward to playing. I actually hadn't even heard of it until this past summer, but as soon as I watched the trailer, I knew it was a game that I would regret not playing. I'm talking about Greedfall, the newest RPG adventure from French-based developers, Spiders. Now, Spiders is also responsible for the Technomancer and Bound by Flame. Now, these are two solid RPG action titles that went over fairly well for what they were, just in my opinion. And also, being as Spiders is such a small independent developer, what they managed to accomplish in Greedfall shows that great games can still be made on a modest budget. Now, you play as Desarde, cousin to the royal Dorsey family of Serene on the continent of Gakane. You embark on a fantastic adventure across the open seas to the newly discovered island Tir Fredi to serve as the legate of your faction for their fledgling colony on the island. Throughout your journey, you meet quite a few interesting faces and gain traveling companions that really influence the game's story and become an integral part of your journey. Now, gameplay-wise, Greedfall puts a huge amount of emphasis on player choice. There is always more than one way to solve a problem, and combat is not always the best method to reach your goal. Using your wits and charm to talk your way into or out of something achieves the same end without bloodshed and straining your relationships with the various factions on the island. Greedfall's combat combines open Skyrim-style combat, stealth takedowns, and a new technical pause menu that instantly freezes the action and kind of lets you assess the battlefield to plan your next move, which is very useful. It's extremely useful when fighting tougher enemies such as the Guardians, the Nadags, and things like that, to take a quick reprieve and ready yourself for your next assault. Now, the sword and gunplay is a bit dry. I went with the warrior class, and so that's kind of what I specialize in. It's a bit dry, but it's very effective. Now, the magical warfare, the effects around that, the graphics around that look superb. I have seen those in action. And you also have options of placing traps and bombs to lure your enemies to an explosive death. Now, the story of Greedfall is incredibly complex and deep, with the side quests you constantly acquire lending themselves to the main story, which is also complex and deep and quite long. I've got almost 50 hours into the game and I'm not quite done with it yet. And your companions' relationships with the main character are very important. Spiders made them an extremely integral part of the game, instead of just being a distraction for your enemies or guinea pigs to test your new abilities. I may have done that with a few followers in Skyrim. Anyways, your companions can often mean the difference between a fight and a peaceful solution, providing you bring the right one along and have a good relationship with them. Spiders also found a unique way to shorten loading screens and the game file size with a couple of little tricks. Greedfall appears to be open world, and in a sense it is, but not completely. Spiders built multiple smaller maps that are kind of held together with the world map that you can access each map on. That makes it seem like it's all one continuous island, but each map in and of itself is self-contained. By doing this, Spiders drastically reduced the game's file size and loading times between the levels. Speaking of loading times, the loading screens are very short, but they're made even more bearable by the included rest stops called camps in the woods. These give you a chance to switch out companions, buy and sell gear, throw stuff in your stash, that sort of thing, while the level loads in the background. So you actually have something to do while you're waiting on the level to load, which is pretty nice. Now, honestly, I've just scratched the surface talking about this game. There's so much going on in it, and so many factors that make up the game. It's impossible to talk about them all. I would definitely recommend this game to anyone who enjoys traditional RPGs with meaningful choices that affect the game's outcomes, as well as anyone who enjoys a lot of in-game politics and intrigue, because Greedfall is full of those. The game is available digitally for $50 US, which, to be honest, for what this game does and everything that it offers, that's a great price. So that's all I have for now. I really hope you check this game out and give it a chance. I really enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it. And so thank you all very much for watching. Hope you found this video helpful. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep laughing.